Hi everyone, welcome back to Maximum Attack Rallying. So, something different for this week. Last week's video, or videos, there was two of them, wasn't there? Last week's videos were actually on a real track with real cars. This week's video is all about virtual tracks and virtual cars. If you're a rally fan and a gamer, or just a gamer, or maybe a rally fan who watches social media in any way, you will have probably seen that EA Sports WRC comes out this week. The pre-order is actually already available. The game itself comes out this weekend, I think. So if you haven't bought it already, you can buy it. I pre-ordered it, so I already have it. So it would seem crazy not to do a review of it. I'm not a massive gamer. I only recently started playing the previous Dirt 2.0, to be honest with you. But I did pre-order this one because I was quite excited because of some of the content, and being in Saudi Arabia, obviously I don't get to drive real rally cars very often. So I thought, what better way to fill this week's video than by doing a little review. I thought about how to do it, and I thought, well, I could just do a long, talking through every little aspect of it, but that's probably a bit boring, isn't it? And there's hundreds of videos from sim races and things doing that. So instead, I'm just gonna pick out 5 good things, 5 bad things that will just give you a quick overview, just of my initial thoughts, having played for a few hours. I've not done loads and loads. I've seen comments online of people who've played like 40 plus hours already. How do you find the time? How do you find the time? I just do not have the time for that. So I played for a few hours, so we'll just do 5 good, 5 bad. I'm sure this won't be the last video on the topic, but I just wanted to give you some initial thoughts on what I like and what I don't like. So let's get right into it. Number 1, cars. This is probably the main thing that attracted me to this game. Dirt 2.0 was good and had some great cars in it. This one, I think they've really stepped it up a notch. Obviously, selfishly, the fact that there's an Escort Max in there is amazing. Haven't been able to play a game with one of those in it since, 1999 was it, when Mobile One Rally Championship was around? So that's brilliant, but there is something for everyone. Obviously, you've got kit cars, you've got Super 1600s, you've got Super 2000s, modern Rally 1 cars, older WRC cars going back to the 90s, Group A cars, historic cars. So there's a huge selection, and there's just a really good mix, and I really, really like that. And yeah, I think so. Codemasters deserve absolute thumbs up for that one. Really, really good job. Love it. At number 2 on the good things list is stages. So Dirt 2.0, it had some long-ish stages, but for this one they've really ramped it up. There are some stages that are like 30 kilometers. I think there's 600 kilometers in total, which is amazing. So I think from a realism point of view, I like that. It gives you much longer tests, and you can get into a rhythm and drive, real stages. There've been a big thing about this in the kind of run up to the launch. They were showing footage from the game on real stages and then comparing that to real life. So yeah, I really like that. I think adding that more endurance element and a better connection to real events, I think is really, really cool. So that is a definite plus point, and another thumbs up, Codemaster/EA. Well done for that. Cool. Number three, got to do the numbers, haven't we? Number 3 is a bit of a continuation of the first 2, because there's lots available, and I like that. But what I particularly like is that there's lots available straight away. As I said, I came to Dirt 2.0 quite late, but if you just had the base game, I mean, it was okay, but there wasn't that many events and there wasn't that many cars. You had to add all the season packs, and perhaps if you started with it when it came out, that was fine because it kind of kept you going. But just playing the base game, there wasn't very much. So I think the fact that with EA WRC, they've given you loads of cars and loads of events and stages right off the bat, I think is really cool. It does make me wonder what is going to come in the future. Are they going to have big expansions? Are there going to be more cars, more rallies in the future? But certainly from the off, I think that's really good. You just buy it and you've got loads. You've got enough to keep you going for months, unless you play 40 hours in like 2 days, like that person I was talking about earlier. But yeah, there's lots and lots to keep you going. So that's 3 thumbs up. I mean, there's going to be 5 thumbs up, but shh, don't talk about that. Okay, number 4. That's 5. 4. We're only at 4. Tarmac handling. I think there has been some notable improvement here. I always found the tarmac handling in Dirt 2.0 a bit weird. It felt like you weren't quite connected to the road somehow, but then all of a sudden the car would start to slide and then it would feel like it had kind of dug into the road. It felt a bit arcadey. It was okay, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy playing it, but it felt a bit weird. This one, it feels a little bit more progressive somehow, a little bit less floaty. I think I would say that it does feel like there's a lot of grip. And I know some other sim races have said that they feel like there's a lot of grip. It's hard to know, isn't it? I mean, most people who are playing this game have never driven a Rally 1 car or a Rally 2 car, or, you know, or most of the cars in the game, if any, in a lot of cases. So it's hard to know whether our expectations are off because we haven't driven the cars in real life, or whether it is a bit weird. So I'm going to stick with this being a positive because I do think it's an improvement. It does feel more natural over Dirt 2.0, but it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out and if things change over time. So yeah, that is thumbs up, number 4, tarmac handling, definite improvement. And number 5, this is 5, isn't it just brilliant that Codemasters, I know they've been bought by EA, but Codemasters finally have the WRC license. One of the issues with Dirt 2.0 is that they didn't have the WRC license, so they couldn't have World Rally cars, modern World Rally cars in it at that time. So that was a bit frustrating. They had good cars, don't get me wrong, they still had Rally 2 cars and things, so that was really cool, but it was just a bit annoying that the best kind of current rally game, as it was, you couldn't actually drive current World Rally cars, and it made it feel a bit weird, didn't it? So just the fact that finally Codemasters are producing an officially licensed WRC game again, let's do double thumbs up to finish the 5 good things. That is really, really good. Long may it continue for the next however many titles. So yeah, love that, really, really good. Okay, so that brings us to the 5 bad things, doesn't it? Do we do a grumpy face? Bad things. Okay, number 1 on the bad thing list, and this is a really, really big complaint. I know it's not going to affect everyone, but for me it's a really big complaint. My Logitech G923 wheel that I use with my Xbox, in EA WRC, there is no feedback. The force feedback through the wheel is not there. So that is really annoying because in Dirt 2 it works. So that is a bug and they need to fix it. Also on the bugs list, the shifter, is it True Force shifter or whatever Logitech call it, that I bought with my Logitech wheel, also does not work. So in Dirt 2.0, for example, you could have an H pattern shifter and that works. Or you could change the binding, so you could just use 3rd and 4th gear and have it as a sequential shifter. But in EA WRC, none of that works. Doesn't even recognize it. If I go in and try and bind the gears to the shifter, it just doesn't recognize it. I'm actually in this weird position where 1st and 2nd are unbound because I can't bind them to the shifter at all. So yeah, that is a real bugbear and they need to fix that. Also, just on the bugs thing, sorry, I'm looking down here because I've got a list, because I'm very professional. This is a very professional show. A couple of other little bugs. Sometimes, just sometimes, the graphics are a little bit stuttery in places. It's not like game changing. I know some people have had bigger problems, but you just notice, it just flicks a little bit here and there. And there are just some little oddities. I'll try and put a clip in. Sometimes if you crash, and I know you shouldn't crash, but we all crash. If you crash into some trees or bushes, the bushes just appear through the dashboard. And that's a bit annoying, isn't it? I know it's not that important, but again, I don't remember Dirt being like that. So, yeah, bugs. Sorry. Okay, number 2 on the bugbear list. This actually relates to graphics. I know I touched on graphics before. I'm going to say the graphics are fine. They're okay. I mean, I'm not a gamer. I don't know if I'm being harsh here, because when I see some games, some of the Gran Turismo, was it Gran Turismo? Some of the driving sims, I'm not an expert, sorry. I've seen like footage from them and clips from them and thought, wow, that's amazing. When I saw this for the first time, when I saw EA WRC for the first time, I thought, it's okay. It's slightly better, I think, than Dirt 2.0 in some respects, but it's okay. So yeah, number 2, the graphics, they're fine. Number 3, this is slightly contradicting what I said with number 2 in the good list. I talked about long stages, and that is good. I'm glad there are long stages. But one thing that does bug me is on a lot of the tarmac rallies, there aren't really any short stages anymore. I'm going to tie this with a complaint that the loss of Rally Germany. So obviously Rally Germany isn't the WRC round anymore, so it is not in the official WRC game now. And what I liked about Rally Germany is if you were just doing time trials and messing around, there were a few like 3 to 4 kilometre stages, and I haven't found any 3 to 4 kilometre tarmac stages yet. They're all 7 plus, roughly. So for kind of just messing around, that's a bit of a shame. And also, what I liked about Rally Germany is it felt a little bit like a single venue rally. I know you've got the big stones to hit, but it was quite wide, quite forgiving in a lot of places. And if you just wanted some tarmac practice, I know no one dreams about driving on single venue rallies, but for me, as a club competitor, when I'm involved in rallying myself, I quite like that it had a couple of the stages had that feeling. So I think that's a bit of a loss. And yeah, and just having some short little tarmac stages. I know there are some short stages on some of the gravel and snow events, but I just like to see some short tarmac stages just for messing around when you're just trying to try out cars and try out different things. So yeah, it's not a major bugbear, but it makes the list. So yeah. Okay, number 4. I've seen a few comments about this. Liveries. 4, we didn't do the numbers. 4, liveries. Some of them, I'm sorry, are dreadful. There are some dreadful liveries in this game. I know it's difficult. I know you've got licensing issues here, but some of them really. So I'm going to call out the Lanciers on this in particular, and the Focus WRC. There is obviously an issue with using Martini as a livery. Okay, I get it. Alcohol, there's complexity there, but just use the livery and take off the words or change the words. I don't know. It just felt to me, if you look at the Lanciers and that Mark 1 Focus, the liveries just aren't very good. They don't look great. And there's a couple of others. The Escort Maxi, which is kind of the car I was most looking forward to, it's got a really pretty poor livery. I don't know if they've tried to make it look a little bit like, I think it was Olli Harkey drove one in Finland a bit. Not a well-known livery for that car. So it looks like they've maybe tried to make it look a little bit like that. But the main liveries for those cars, which was the Ford Spain car and the Response British Championship car, those liveries aren't there. And a couple of the Super 2000 cars, the Corsa and the Punto, not great. Sorry, not great. So I know there's a livery editor, which I haven't messed about with yet. And hopefully we'll get some livery packs. So maybe they'll improve, but yeah, and a lot of the cars only have one livery. So I'm going to give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt, and hopefully we'll get more liveries, because I think we did with Dirt 2.0. But right now, some of them suck. They suck. Okay, and number 5. Number 5 is, it's just a bit complicated, isn't it? Isn't it a bit over the top? It feels to me like they've added some stuff that's a little bit unnecessary. Firstly, car builder, I haven't even touched it. I don't care. I'm not interested. I don't want to build a car. Certainly not a random car that isn't anything. I mean, if they'd allowed me to take a 208 and turn it into a Rally 2 car, fine. Or take a Super 1600 Puma and turn it into a Rally 1 car. I don't know, that would have been kind of cool, but I don't want to make a weird generic thing. So I don't see the point in that. That just seems a bit of a waste of resources. Also, the career mode. I haven't really bothered. Why? I mean, it's just a bit melodramatic. Maybe they're doing it because they feel like it has to have drama or something. I don't know. I don't. It's like, oh, are you going to make it? Have you got what it takes? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about managing career stuff. I just want to drive cool cars. It feels like they've added drama for drama's sake. And like I said, maybe that's a thing to try and compete with other types of game genre. I don't know. I don't care. I can see myself spending a lot of time just doing time trials and individual rallies and things rather than the career thing, because I don't know, like I said, I just want to drive cool cars. Meh. Okay, so there it is. We're going to wrap it up. 5 good, 5 bad. Like I said, there's lots of good stuff in this game. I think in many ways it is a step up from Dirt 2.0. Certainly in the tarmac dynamics, they definitely appear better. Cars for sure, events for sure, stuff that's included off the bat, all that kind of thing, really, really good. I just think there's some things they need to address, particularly the bugs. The ones that I've listed about the Logitech wheel and the graphics, I am not alone. I know some PC players have had lots and lots of trouble with the pre-release version, and I heard someone on Twitter or X, whatever, was saying that on PlayStation it just kept freezing, so they've given up. So there are definitely some bugs. I really hope we get a patch quickly to address some of that. I know the graphics stuff for me is not. I know it's not like super annoying. It's just a bit of it's just a bit silly. But yeah, the fact that I can't use my shifter, the fact that I don't get any force feedback through the wheel is really putting me off. And yesterday when I was messing around with it, I almost just thought, you know what, I'm just going to go and play Dirt 2.0 until they fix this, because it just makes it a bit weird to drive, because I know it's not real, and no video game is ever going to feel real, but it makes it feel like you're on an old arcade game at times. So yeah, there's definitely work to do. I really hope there's some patches. I know there's lots of feedback on EA's forum and on various social media. So Dirt 2.0 was really good, wasn't it? And I'm sure, I didn't play it at the beginning, but I'm sure there were some issues in the early days. I know there were packs and things released for it, so I guess there were some updates. So I really hope that they get some fixes out quickly for some of this stuff, because I do want to play it more and I do want to explore with it more, because while I said earlier that part of me thought, I'll just go back and play Dirt 2.0 until they fix it, I kind of don't want to. I don't want to go back to driving a 306 Maxi. The reason I drove a 306 Maxi, sorry Andrew Kelly, is that I couldn't drive an Escort Maxi, and I want to drive an Escort Maxi, and they've teased me. So yeah, so I hope this fixes. I don't want you to think I'm having a downer on it. There is lots of good stuff in there, as I said, but they just need to get on top of the bugs. So let's wrap it up, shall we? Hopefully this isn't too long. I haven't been keeping count. So yeah, something different this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're not a gamer, I get why you won't care about this, but I would still encourage you to have a look. If you're old and grumpy and don't do gaming, but your kids have got a console, download it or buy it and just give it a go. I think it might give you a new appreciation, and I am a big believer, just to finish, that gaming can be a really good path into a sport in real life. John Armstrong, who is on the Codemasters team that helped develop this game, has him, he was an esports WRC champion, and now he competes ERC, WRC. So there is crossover. So I think we do need to encourage these types of games and embrace them and all the good that they can do. So yes, so let's stop there. As always, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, because I do lots on there, X and TikTok and whatever, all the other ones. And I will catch you again next week.